Well, happy Tuesday to everybody. Hope you are doing well. We are at the second game of the June 28th date. Played the first game last night, rare primetime hot dog special with Hot Dog Jackson, as the A's played Cleveland. But now we're in New York for the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Final game of this series, game number 507 overall in the replay. Yankee Stadium, 1-7 for lefties and righties on singles. Home runs 1-9 left, 1-8 right. Pitching matchup for today's game. Al Nipper for the Red Sox against Rick Rhoden for the Yankees. Yankees come to this game 42-32, Boston 29-44. So hopefully everything is copacetic as far as being able to see everything. We could look at Rick Rhoden's numbers right off the bat. Rick Rhoden, 1987, was 16-10 with a 3.86 ERA in the real season. So go to the computer. He is 6-4 with an ERA of 4.11. 101 innings pitched, 115 hits, 21 walks, 61 strikeouts. His wild pitch is a 10, his balk is a 2, and he has a -1 hold, but combined with Salas's +2 gives him a net +1 on his hold rating. Boston won the real game 6-2. So we'll see if history repeats itself or whether the Yankees can get back on the winning ways and try to keep pace with those Milwaukee Brewers. And we got our dice ready to go. Leading off will be Marty Barrett. Barrett, second baseman, hitting .317, no homers, 19 driven in on the replay, .293 on the actual season. And of course, before we have the first pitch, we're back to the ceremonial first sip for all morning games. Now we're ready to go. Marty Barrett. That's a 5-6 for Rhoden. That's a strikeout. Rick Rhoden gets the K. Good morning, Joel. Strikeout for Rhoden. Brings up Todd Benzinger. He is playing center field today as they give Ellis Burks the game off on the Sunday. Well, in the replay, it's a Sunday, June 28th. So Benzinger, only a 4 E6 in center field. Benzinger, though, is doing very well in 23 at-bats so far. Very limited duty. He's hitting .391. He hit .278 real world. 6'3", switch hitter. That's a ground ball pitcher X right back to Rhoden. Rhoden is a 3E8 for his defense. 3E8. So we bring in the pitcher X chart. 3-15. He will get to that no problem. That's going to be a G2. That's a 9, and he is an E8. And there is no 9 there. There's a 6, 15, 16, 17, 3, and 18, but no 9. So Rhoden will make the play. Retire Benzinger. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up Wade Boggs. Boggs on the replay hitting .354, 12 homers, 36 driven in. He at .363 real world. 5-12 lefty. That's a ballpark blast, and it's a 1-9, and that's a 3. So Wade Boggs will connect with home run number 13 on the replay. Look at it again. Whoops, actually, we're looking at it on Rhoden's card, aren't we? 5-12 against the left-hander. And a potential spam call just comes in. We always like those. 5-12 on a left-hander is a ballpark diamond shot on the 5-12. And that's a 3. And for Yankee Stadium, it's 1-9. And Wade Boggs obviously has normal power. So for Wade Boggs, that is his 13th home run. He had 24 real world. Home run 13 on the replay. RBI number 37. That was at bat 286 for him. In 581 at bats, he had 24 home runs. So he's pretty much right on pace to do what he's supposed to do. And that brings up Jim Rice. Rice on the replay is hitting .262, 6 homers, 36 driven in. He had .277 real world. It's a 1-9 for Rice. And that's going to be a base hit to right field. So Rice keeps it going. He's no threat to run, though. And here's Don Baylor, designated hitter. Baylor hitting 240 on the replay. 8 homers, 39 driven in. He hit 245 real world. Good morning, Jason. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. Baylor, 6-7, and that's a strikeout for Rhoden, his second. And that'll do it for the Red Sox. But the home run from Wade Boggs gives them a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first. Red Sox 1, Yankees coming to bat. And on the mound for the Red Sox. On the mound for the Red Sox is jump baller Al Nipper. Nipper on the 87 season was 11-12 with a 5.43 earned run average. On the replay, he is 4-8 with an ERA of 6.60. He's been getting knocked around. 89 innings pitched, 112 hits, 39 walks, 57 strikeouts. All right, so leading things off will be Henry Cotto. The Yankees will get Ricky Henderson back for the next series when they travel to Toronto on June 29th. They will have Ricky Henderson back, but this is the last game without him for a while anyway. Henry Cotto will lead us off. 246 on the replay, 3 homers, 11 driven in. He at 235 real world. That's a 311 for Cotto. That's a ballpark single check, 1-7, but that's an 11. So he will line it to short. 1 away. Spike Owen grabs it. That'll take us to the designated hitter, Claudell Washington. Washington hitting 296 on the replay. 2 homers, 18 driven in. Hit 279 real world. That's a 2-8, and that's going to be a base hit for Claudell Washington. Nipper is a +3 on his hold. He's a +4. Gedman's a -1 for a net +3. So Claudell is going to look to see if he can get a lead. He needs a 6. That's the only way he gets the good lead is on a 6. He just misses it. So he will hold past. And here comes Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. Mattingly hitting 298 on the replay. 9 homers, 31 driven in. He at 327 real world. 3-8 for Mattingly. It's a ground ball shortstop A. That'll be a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play, 6-4-3. And we give close-ups of the Giovanni's double plays as well. Look at Mattingly's card there. A 3-8 against the right-hander is a ground ball shortstop A, and that certainly qualifies for the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. Sponsored by Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're out there, give them a visit. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And that one was tailor-made for Al Nipper to get him out of the inning. And we go to the top of the second. Dewey Evans back in right field where he belongs since Bill Buckner's back at first. Evans is in right. Evans hitting 353 on the replay. He's really been tearing it up. 17 homers, 53 driven in. He hit 305 real world. It's a 1-8 for Evans, and that's a base on balls. Base on balls for Evans. First walk issued by Rhoden. Evans no threat to run. And here comes Billy Buckner. He's back. Buckner hitting 262 on the replay. 3 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 286 real world. Nothing on the habit. Buckner, 6'8", lefties. That's a single to left field. First and second, nobody out. But the Red Sox are at the bottom portion of their order. Spike Owen, followed by Gedman. Owen, he's an A bunter. We could bunt here, but then you're turning it over to Gedman. You know what? They're going to have Owen bunt anyway. Try to stay out of double play, if nothing else, I guess. So we're going to our bunt chart. Owen is an A bunter. Yankees think something's cooking, so he's now a B bunter as the corners are in. Make sure there's nothing on the havoc. There's not. The white die says It's going to the right back to Rhoden, the pitcher. And it's a B bunter. He basically needs a 9 or less. And it gets a 10, so that's a pop-up. So Spike Owen pops it up to Rhoden. Failed sacrifice bunt. Nobody got doubled off, but it does kind of feel like a wasted at bat right there. That's why I don't usually like to bunt, but just felt like that might have been the time to finally do one, and that's what happens to me. All right, here's Rich Gedman. Gedman hitting 188 on the replay. No homers, 12 driven in. He at 205 real world. First and second, 1 out now. 210 for Gedman, and that's a solid base hit. 1-6 is a double. That's an 11. It's a single, 2 stars. That'll score the first run of the game as Dewey Evans crosses the plate and Buckner hobbles to third base. RBI single from Rich Gedman. Red Sox are on the board 1-0. Runners on the corners and 1 out for Marty Barrett. Infield back for the double play. They feel like they're going to score some runs off a nipper, so they're not really – they want to make sure they don't give up a big inning. So here's Marty Barrett. 6-8 for Barrett. That's a single to center field. Didn't matter how they were playing. That's a base hit. 2-0 Red Sox. Gedman stops at second base. So all of a sudden, Red Sox have something cooking. 2 runs in to lead it 3-0. Still only 1 out, and here's Rick Rhoden facing Benziger, first and second. 5-9, and that's going to be a solid double to center field. Solid double to center field by Todd Benziger. We'll see if Barrett wants to try to score from first base with 1 out. Cotto does have a -1 arm. Barrett is a 15. He was not being held as a trail runner, makes him a 16. But then the -1 makes him a 15. If they throw through, Benziger will take third. 1-15, they're going to send him. 1-15, they're sending Barrett to the plate. And he's out of there at the plate. Wow. Benziger does take third on the throw. But a nice play there by Henry Cotto and a relay from Tollison. So it's going to go 8-6-2 at the plate. They get Marty Barrett. So a double. And Barrett is out at the plate, 8-6-2. But a 1-15 was a pretty good game, 75% chance. Just took a great relay throw to get him. But they still lead at 4-0 with Benziger at third and 2 outs now for Wade Boggs. Clutch situation for Boggs. That's a 6-8 lefty, and that's a base hit. Boy, Rhoden can't get anybody out. He may not last too long in this game. 5-0 Red Sox. Piniella does not want to go to the bullpen this early, but he may have to. Here's Rice. They're just hitting Rhoden big time. 7 hits already. 1-6 for Rice. That's a strikeout, and they finally get out of the inning. With the Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning, and the Red Sox are taking it to the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium. 5-0, going to the bottom of the second. And due up for the Yankees, it'll be Mr. May, Dave Winfield, to lead things off. Winfield on the replay is hitting .251, 16 homers, 44 driven in. He at .275 real world. That's a 4-8, and that's going to be a double, 1-11. And that's exactly what we got. Dave Winfield with a double. So both teams have their hitting shoes on, apparently. Here's Mike Easler, the hitman, left fielder. Easler hitting .255. No homers, 3 driven in. He at .281 real world. 2-5, and that's a strikeout. Easler with the K. First strikeout for Nipper. 1 away. And here is Pagliarulo. That's a 4-8 for Pagliarulo, and that's a 1-4 triple. 7 will be a double. So an RBI double for Mike Pagliarulo, and the Yankees are on the board. Pags with a double, his 43rd run batted in of the season. Puts the Yankees on the board. They now trail it 5-1. Here's Mark Salas, the catcher. He's only hitting 198 on the replay. 3 homers, 11 driven in. He hit 250 real world. Catcher was a problem for the Yankees all season long. They just couldn't settle on anybody. And then finally next season they get Don Slaught from Texas. But 87 was a kind of a merry-go-round. 4-6, and that's a 1-4 single, but that's a 17, so he will line it to second. Marty Barrett is there. And they were so desperate they got Mark Salas from Minnesota for Joe Niekro. I don't think that worked out too well for him. All right, here's Len Sakata. Sakata hitting 255 on the replay. No homers, 5 driven in. He hit 267 real world. Clutch situation for Sakata, and he is neutral. 1-6, and he draws the base on balls. So that'll keep the inning going for Tollison. Clutch situation for Tollison. He loses 3 hits in column number 2, 5, 9, and 10. On the replay, Tollison 244, 2 homers, 19 driven in. He at 221 real world. That's a 1-5 for Tollison. Grounds it to first, and Buckner will take it to the bag himself. Yankees get 1, but they were hoping for more. We played 2. It's 5-1, favor of the Red Sox. And Rhoden back out, but he's on thin ice. He'll be facing Baylor, Evans, and Buckner to start the top of the third, but already given up 5 runs. Baylor 4-8, and that's a walk. Not what you want to do is start walking guys again. Second walk issued by Rhoden. Baylor not going to go anywhere. And that brings up Dewey Evans. He was the other person that Rhoden walked. 1-7, and that is a 1-8 double. And that's a 1, so it'll be a double 2 stars. And the Yankee bullpen is now starting to stir. They were hoping Rhoden would figure it out between innings, but it hasn't seemed to be the case. Look at the Yankee bullpen, see who's the most rested. Let's take a look here. In fact, let's look at the last game they played and see. That's probably the best way to do it. Let's always look at the last game played and see who pitched and who didn't. All right. So Cecilio Guante went 3 1/3 to get the save in the last game. So he's obviously unavailable. But everybody else is well rested. Tom Bolton went 3 1/3 for Boston. He's unavailable. Everybody else is well rested. So except for Guante and Bolton, everybody's active. Everybody's available. So with that in mind, we're looking at Rich Bordy would be the long reliever. So he is loosening in the Yankee bullpen, Rich Bordy. He is the one loosening in the bullpen. Right now, here's Buckner, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Infield for the Yankees is in. Got to see about choking that runoff. 6-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X, right back to Rhoden again. And the pitcher is always considered to be in. So we'll check on the X chart. We'll check the infield in result of a 3E8. And that's a 16, probably a G1, I imagine. 3 and a 16 is a G1. I'm sorry, no, it's a G2 right here, G2. 3 and 16 is a G2. E8 and an 8 is not a problem, but we're looking at G2. So if you look at G2 right here, G2, let me put it on the thing here. So G2, we look here, runners at 2nd and 3rd, infield was in. It says leader. So they're going to get the lead guy at the plate. So they will get the lead dog. Baylor is out at the plate 1-2. Fielder's choice. Buckner reaches. Going to third is Evans. But they at least avoid a run. So the fielder's choice. One to two. So runs at the corners, one out for Spike Owen. Infield looking for the double play. That's a 2-4, and it's a ballpark single check, 1-7. That's a 5. Base hit, Spike Owen. RBI single. Buckner scores. Oh, I'm sorry, Evans scores, and Buckner goes to second. Now 6-1, favor of the Red Sox. Here's Rich Gedman. Rich Bordy is just about ready to come in. 2-11, and that is a solid double to center field by Gedman. That's going to be it for Rick Rhoden. He just didn't have it today. Buckner's going to score. Spike Owen, trail runner, not being held, makes him a 16. -1's a 15. Well, with only one out, they're going to hold him at third base. So RBI double from Rich Gedman. It's now 7-1 Red Sox. Rhoden is showing tired on the Strat computer, but that doesn't matter because he's coming out anyway, as they will move on to Rich Bordy. So Rick Rhoden, not a very good outing whatsoever. He just didn't have it. He's going to end up going just 2 1/3 innings, giving up 10 hits. So far, 7 runs all earned, but he's responsible for these 2 as well. And let's see, looks like he walked 2 and struck out 3. So this could be 7, 8, or 9, depending on what happens the rest of the way. And Rich Bordy, your new pitcher. He's a +2 hold, which makes him a +4. So Rich Bordy, 3-1 with a 7.64 ERA real world, no saves. On the replay, Rich Bordy is 1-0, no saves, an ERA of an even 7. 18 innings pitched, 24 hits, 9 walks, 21 strikeouts. He is in pure mop-up duty. So Marty Barrett steps to the plate. Marty Barrett. Infield still in with 1 out. And Marty Barrett, the batter. That's a 6-7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Sakata. Not very good, 4E25. 4-4, that's going to get through for a base hit. If that had been Randolph there, he'd have made the play, but they're giving Randolph the game off, and it shows. 4-4 is a single 2 stars, so that will score both runs. And now we close the book on Rhoden. He gives up 9 runs. And we'll check for an error. But he's going to be charged with 9 runs in 2 1/3 innings. It's 9-1 now, favor of Red Sox. Checking for an error. He is an E25, and that is a 13. Second base, E25. There is no 13 there. But it's a base hit from Marty Barrett. 2-run single. And Yankee fans are letting the hometown club hear about it. Here's Benzinger. But Bordy's in there for the long haul. He's there to eat innings. They got to have a rested bullpen when they go to Toronto, so they just can't afford to use a lot of pitchers here. 3-9, and that's a fly ball to right field, 2 down. Bordy can give up 8 runs. He's still going to be in there until he's tired. He's got a relief rating of 4, so he can go quite a ways. Here's Boggs. And I'm not pulling him until he gets tired. 5-5 is a ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning. And another 4-score inning for the Red Sox. 9-1, as they are waylaying the Yankees. And they're giving Al Nipper all sorts of run support. If he can't win the game now, he's in bad shape. So we go to the bottom of the third. Yankees will have Henry Cotto stepping to the plate. Sorry it couldn't be a closer game, but maybe the Yankees can make a rally. You never know. Here's Cotto, 4-10. Fly ball to left. That's one away. Not like Al Nipper is Roger Clemens or anything. But again, the Red Sox did win the real game 6-2. Here's Claudel. 2-7 for Claudel. He strikes out. That is the second strikeout for Nipper. He seems to be on his game. And without Ricky Henderson leading off, the Yankees seem to be lost offensively. Here's Mattingly, 3-6, and he's got a 1-11 single. That's an 8, so base hit for Mattingly. 2-out single. Brings up Mr. May, Dave Winfield. That is a 5-10, and that is a ballpark blast for Winfield, 1-8, but that's a 17. That's the kind of day it's been for the Yankees. Can't get the good D20 roll, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the fourth. It's still 9-1 Red Sox pummeling the Yankees. Bottom of the fourth. But then again, if you watched my Sunday Basic Sunday game this most recent Sunday, you know a game is never over early till we get to the whole innings. Comebacks are possible, especially with dice. You never know what dice are going to do. Here's Rice. That's a 1-6 for Rice. Struck him out. One away, and that's going to send up Don Baylor. He is struck out and walked. That's a 3-11, and Baylor will get a ballpark single check, 1-7. That's a 20. So he will line it to short. Out number 2 for Dewey Evans. Walked and doubled. 2-6, and 1-9 is a single. That's an 11, though, so he's going to line it to short. And that will end the inning. Finally, a 1-2-3 inning turned in by Rich Bordy. And like I said, I fully expect Rich Bordy to complete this game. And I really don't want to use any more Yankee relievers if I don't have to. Here's Easler, unless this game gets really close. Here's Easler. He will lead off. 1-5 for Easler. That's a home run on a 1-6, but that's a 13, so he'll settle with a double. Leadoff double for Mike Easler. That'll bring up Tags. Tags doubled his first time up, but was stranded at third base. 5-10, and that's a catcher X. We're looking at Gedman. 3E15. 3-11 for a catcher. Let's see what that brings. 3-11 is going to be a P/F, so possible pass ball. That's a 6, and he is an E15 as a catcher. There is no 6 there. So we go to P/F, and we're looking at the wild pitch rating of Nipper to determine if a pass ball has occurred. His wild pitch rating is a 6. And it does not occur, so it'll just be a foul out. One away. Bob Shirley's on Kansas. He got picked up by Kansas City. He's now on the Kansas City roster. So no, we won't be seeing Bob Shirley because he's on the Kansas City roster. Good morning, Brown. All right, here's Mark Salas. That's a 2-8 for Salas, and that's a solid single to center. But down 9-1, you don't take chances, so they're going to hold him at third base. First and third, one out for Len Sakata. Sakata walked his first chance. Infield, of course, back for a double play. 3-7, and they get that double play. Right on cue, Len Sakata hits into yet another, and we'll show it up close. I like to show the Giovanni's Taylor Shop double plays up close. 3-7. Len Sakata, ground ball, shortstop A. That is a 6-4-3. Giovanni's Taylor Shop, tailor-made double play to end the inning. Second double play hit into by the Yankees. And Nipper is just cruising along here. 9-1 game. Top of the fifth. And Rich Bordy back out. We'll face Bill Buckner. Spike Owen and Rich Gedman. Bottom of the order for the Red Sox. Whoa, hopping dice. Let's re-roll that. 1-6 for Buckner, and that's trouble. 1-6 is a double, 1-15. So Bill Buckner cracks a double, and the hit parade continues. Hit number 12 for the Red Sox, and we're just starting the fifth inning. Here's Spike Owen. 4-5, switch hitter batting left. It's a fly ball to right, one away. One down for Rich Gedman. He has singled and doubled. 1-12, and that's a foul out to Salas. And that's 2 away. Back up just a hair on this. All right, 2 down, and that's going to be the top of the order, Marty Barrett. 3-8 for Barrett. That's a single, 2 stars, but it's an anti-clutch, and despite the score, I go by the rules. It's a clutch at bat with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, regardless of the score. So the single is taken away from Marty Barrett because that little omega symbol there sitting at 3-8 against right-handers. That omega symbol takes the single away, turns it into a pop-up to short, and the inning's over. So despite the fact that it's 9-1, the clutch still comes into play unless I want to homebrew it at some point, but I haven't homebrewed it yet, so it's kind of hard to do that in the middle of a replay. I'll just live with it. If I do any kind of an extended replay of something in the future, I may homebrew that rule to make it have to be within so many runs, or else it's not clutch anymore. Here's Tollefson. 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-7. That's a 10, so he will line it to second base. 1 away. Back to the top of the order for Henry Cotto. He's 0 for 2. 4-9, and that is a fly to center. Benzinger is there, 2 down. And that'll bring up Claudel Washington. 5-8, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. Easy inning, 3 up, 3 down for Mr. Nipper. We go to the 6th. Still 9-1. And Rich Bordy, again, his job is to eat innings. Benzinger, back out. 1 for 3. 6-5, switch hitter batting left is a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollefson, 3E22. 3-17, he'll get to that. E22, and that's a 7 at shortstop. E22, there's a 6 there, but no 7, so good play for Tollefson. 1 away. For Wade Boggs, he's homered and single, 2 for 3. 2-9, and he grounds it to Sakata at second base, 2 down. And that'll send up Jim Rice. 2-4 for Rice, and that's a ground ball to Pagliarulo. So 3 ground ball outs for Bordy. He is certainly settled the things down on the pitching side for the Yankees. Not sure what happened to Rhoden today. He just got up on the wrong side of the bed, I guess. He had a really rough outing. Don't see those kind of outings from Rhoden very often. All right, here is O-Matic Baseball. He's 1 for 2. 4, 8, and to make it 2 for 3. 1 to 4 is a triple. That's a triple for Mattingly. He had 2 of them real world. He's already had 2 already, but I guess since he had 2 real world, we'll give him a third one. If he gets too many of them, we'll start cutting them back. But that's a triple for Don Mattingly. Here's Winfield. Winfield, of course, is back. That's a 4-2, and that is 4-2 is a fly ball right field X. That's Stewie Evans. He's a 1, E2. 1 and a 10 might be enough for a sac fly. We'll see. 1 and a 10 might be an F2. 1 and a 10 is an F2, so it will be a sacrifice fly. That's a 9, and he is only an E2. No error there, but the F2 is a sacrifice fly, so Winfield will bring in Mattingly with the sacrifice fly. For Winfield, that is his 45th run batted in of the season. Score is now 9-2. Base is clear for Easler. 4-7, and that's a double 1-6, but he'll settle with the single. And now they're starting to hit Nipper the third time through the order. But he's got a 9-2 lead to work with, so McNamara is going to stick with Nipper for a little while. This is his fatigue inning, though, so he's almost fatigued. One more base runner, and he'll be fatigued. 3-6 for Pags. That's a ballpark blast for Pagliarulo. 1-9, and that's an 8. It's gone. So that might be it for Mr. Nipper. His day might be coming to a sudden halt. 3-6 for Pagliarulo is the ballpark blast on that 3-6 versus right-handed pitching. Double dies an 8, and the home runs are 9s for left-handed hitters at Yankee Stadium. So a 2-run home run for Mike Pagliarulo. And now the Red Sox bullpen starting to toss in earnest now, all of a sudden, since Nipper's kind of lost it here. For Pagliarulo, that is his 21st home run of the season. He had 32 of them real world. RBIs 44 and 45. 3 runs are in. It's all of a sudden 9-4 ball game. Nipper is tired, but McNamara wants to try to finish out the inning. Got 2 outs to get in the bottom portion of the order. Here's Salas. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Marty Barrett, 2E11. 2E11, 2 and a 16 is good. E11 and a 6 at second base. E11 and a 6. There is no 6 there, so Barrett makes the play. 2 down for Len Sakata. 1-4, and he's going to triple. How about that? Len Sakata with a triple. Straight out on his card, a triple on a 1-4 versus righty. So Len Sakata, a 2-out triple. And here's Wayne Tollison. The triple by Sakata. And now the number 9 hitter, Tollison, is up. 212 for Tollison. That's a home run on a 1-16. That's a 13. It's gone. Nipper's not going to make it through the 6th inning. They try to get him through it, but he's not going to be able to do it. Let's look at it up close and personal. 212 for Tollison. 1-16 is a home run. That is the 212, and that's a 13. That's gone. So Wayne Tollison, who only hit 1 home run all season, has now hit his 3rd home run of the replay. And it's a 2-run shot, and that's going to do it for Al Nipper. They tried to get him through the inning, but they just couldn't do it. So Tollison, his 3rd home run, RBIs 20 and 21, and that'll do it for Nipper. He will go 5 2/3, and all of a sudden the Yankees are right back in this game. It's 9-6. A 5-run inning. And now the Red Sox will go to their bullpen. The only guy not available is Tom Bolton because he went 3 1/3 yesterday. Everybody else is available and fresh. So we'll see who they want to turn to here. Do they go to Crawford or do they go? Looks like they're going to go to Crawford, I do believe. Yep, Steve Crawford is going to make his way in from the Red Sox bullpen. So Al Nipper couldn't hold a sizable 9-1 lead. He seemed to have troubles, obviously. Oh, wait a minute. I got to back out bringing Crawford in yet because I didn't give the home run to Tollefson in the computer yet. I don't want that charged to the relief pitcher. I want it charged to Nipper. There we go. Now we can bring him in. Now we bring Steve Crawford in. So Crawford, on the replay, on the real season was 5-4 with a 5.33 ERA. There's a reason the Red Sox are 29-44, folks. So even though they were up 9-1, there's no guarantees. Crawford did not have any saves in the real season. On the replays, 3-4, he does have 2 saves, a 4.23 ERA, 38 innings pitched, 41 hits, 20 walks, and 25 strikeouts. He's a -4 on his hold, which makes him a -5. And we'll finish out the numbers on Nipper when the inning is over. But they have one more out to get, and that is Henry Cotto. Oop, the white die got hung up. Let's redo that. 9-6 ball game. We got a ball game again. 4-12 for Crawford is a ground ball to first. Buckner has it, flips to Crawford covering to end the inning. But a 5 spot changes things. And now we can close the book on Nipper. Go to the box score and get his totals. He still can qualify for the win. But his outing won't be quite as nice as it had been, that's for sure. Nipper is going to go 5 2/3, give up 11 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Not the kind of pitching line you would expect from a winning pitcher, but when your team scores 9 runs, that can happen. So top of the 7th we go, and all of a sudden Rich Bordes now is pitching some important innings, trying to keep the Red Sox close. He has done so for the last 3 innings. He has pitched 3 1/3 innings, 3 2/3 innings actually, of shutout baseball. 2-7, and Baylor struck him out. So Bordy has been the man out of the bullpen. And if the Yankees come back and somehow win this game, he's got to be up for the player of the game with this kind of relief outing. Here's Dewey Evans. 6-11. That's a fly ball right field. Winfield is a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. E3, the only errors on E3, 3, 18, and 15. And that's 12, so good play for Winfield. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Billy Buck. 1-7, and that's a base hit for Buckner. He is 3 for 4 on this game, is Mr. Buckner. That'll bring up Spike Owen. 4-7, switch hitter batting left, and that's a 1-12 single, but that's a 14, so he grounds it to Mattingly, and that will end the inning. So we're going to the 7th inning stretch, and lo and behold, we actually have a decent ball game going. 9-6. Favor the Red Sox. Due up for the Yankees. It'll be Claudell Washington, Don Mattingly, and Dave Winfield, heart of the order for the Yankees. Claudell Washington, the only batter not to bat last inning. Crawford trying to settle things down for the Red Sox. Again, the dice get hung up. I don't know why they're getting hung up in there. 4-9 for Claudel, and that's a fly to center field. Benzinger is there, 1 away. Here's Don Mattingly. 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X, and we're looking at Benzinger. He's a 4E6. 4-19, though, he'll get to that. E6 and a 12. Center fielder, E6 and a 12. There is no 12 there, so Benziger will make the play. 2 down for Dave Winfield. And again, it gets something. Well, I don't know what's causing this to get hung up in there. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Crawford. So Crawford has retired all 4 he has faced. He's got a chance to finish the game. His relief factor is 3, so he could actually get the save in this game, or at least get him to the 9th and turn it over to Schiraldi, one or the other. We go to the top of the 8th. Bordy's still out there. Why wouldn't he be? The way he's been pitching. Not going to take him out, that's for sure. And he'll be facing Rich Gedman, who is 2 for 3. 1-6, and that's a line out right to Mattingly. 1 away. Nothing else. Rich Gedman is saving that bullpen, which is what Lou Piniella brought him in to do. Here's Barrett. 1-8 for Barrett, and that's a home run on a 1-2, but that's an 11, so just a deep fly to left. And that is out number 2. Barrett will, Boarding will probably need he's going to need at least 2 days off after this, pitching all these innings. He's basically pitching more than a starter. He's like pitching like a starter. 1-5 for Benziger, and that's a ground ball to Mattingly, and that will do it. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 9-6. Yankees still hanging around in striking distance, although Crawford has settled things down on the Red Sox side of the house. Bottom of the 8th we go. And I'm going to do exactly what they did in the real game, and that is they brought in Ellis Burks to play center field because he's a better center fielder than Benziger is. So Burks will come in and play center field for defensive purposes, which is exactly what they did in the real game. So Burks is now in center field. Get Burks his card. Burks is a 2-0 E5, which is much better than the 4 E6. So Burks will come in and play center field. Benziger will get the rest of the game off. Okay, so get another center field X chance. The Red Sox will feel a whole lot better about having Burks out there. All right, here's Easler. It's a 1-6 for Easler, and that's a base hit to center field. Leadoff single for Easler. And the Yankees trying to claw their way all the way back. They're getting closer. Closer and closer, as they say. So Easler with the hit brings up Pagliarulo, who homered his last time up. If he connects again, we'll have a 1-run game. 1-8 for Pags. He will walk. So now the tying run's at the plate. And the the Yankees are lining up some pinch hitting because they're not going to have Sakata hit, that's for sure. So who do they have that can use? They're going to go to Gary Ward, or they go to Kittle. Actually, they're going to go to Kittle. They're going to go to Kittle, and Bobby Meacham will take over at second base. So Pagliarulo with the walk, so Sincata is out of there. Kittle will hit with Meacham taking over at second base. So Kittle will pinch hit here in the 8th, and Meacham will play second in the 9th. But first, it is Mark Salas. Catcher Salas. He is 1 for 3. 4-6, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Spike Owen, 3E17. 3 and 18. This could be another double play. 3 and 18 is a G1. That's a 10. And he's an E17 at short. No 10 there, so it will be another Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. 6-4-3, third double play hit in 2 by the Yankees. And that takes some starch out of the rally for the Yankees, that's for sure. They will still use pinch hitter Ron Kittle, though. He's in scoring position just by virtue of being in the batter's box. And they do have Easler at third base. Try to bring him in. So we'll get the numbers on Kittle. See how he's doing on the replay versus real season. Kittle on the replay is hitting .304, 12 homers, 34 driven in. He hit .277 real world. It is a clutch situation for Mr. Kittle. 6-4, and that is an hit. Look at that. Kittle comes in and cracks the home run right there. Sakata would have been weak against righty, so he couldn't have gotten the home run. But Kittle comes in and cracks a 2-run home run to make it a 1-run game. Without that double play, the Yankees would probably be leading right now. But look at that, 6-4 or 6-4 against right-handers. It's a straight-up in home run chance, and you know Ron Kittle has the power. Kittle pinch hit home run, a 2-run shot, and all of a sudden it is now 9-8 here in the 8th inning. 9-8 for Ron Kittle. That is home run number 13 on the replay. He had only 12 of them real world, so he's already surpassed his home run total. This was at bat 136. He had 159 at bats real world. RBIs 35 and 36 for Kittle. And just like that, it's a 9-8 game. And here's Wayne Tollison. And without that double play, the Yankees would have been leading. 6-6 switch hitter. And that's a ballpark blast for Tollison, but he has weak power, so it won't be a home run. 10 is going to be, it's not going to fall in that category anyway, just to fly to right to end the inning. But 2 more runs for the Yankees. And it is now 9-8 as we go to the top of the 9th. And now that it's a closer game, Yankees do have activity in the bullpen. Dave Righetti is loosening in case they want to call on him. Don't know how much juice Rich Bordy still has left. Bordy on the game so far has tossed 5 2/3 innings of 3-hit shutout relief, but I think even he needs some relief at this point to not blow his arm out. So we'll close the book on Bordy. He goes 5 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And Dave Righetti will get a call. He hasn't pitched in a while, so he could use some work. Dave Righetti, the closer for the Yankees. And we'll get the numbers on Righetti. His job is just to keep things a 1-run game. Righetti on the replay, I'm sorry, in the real season, take it back, on the real season for Righetti. Real season Righetti, he was 8-6 with a 3.51 ERA and 31 saves. And on the replay, he is 3-3 with 16 saves and a 4.01 ERA. 43 innings pitched, 42 hits, 13 walks, 28 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Boggs, Rice, and Baylor due up against Righetti. He is a -5 hold, which makes him a -3. And make sure that we're not, let's back this up one more notch here, or at least 2 notches. All right, maybe 3. All right, there we go. Boggs facing Righetti. 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Rags. Strikes out Boggs, 1 away. Here's Jim Rice. 3-7 for Rice against the lefty. That's a 1-16 single, but that's a 17. Lines out the short, so now the D20 rolls are going the Yankees' favor. My, how the tides of fortune turn. Calvin Schiraldi will come in to pitch for the Red Sox to try to close it down in the 9th. And Don Baylor, your batter. 2 outs, base is empty. 6-9 against Righetti is a walk. So a 2-out walk by Righetti. Not what he was looking for. And that'll bring us to Dewey Evans. 5-6 right-handed. Ground ball, shortstop X. Looking at Tollison. He is a 3 E22. 3-20. He'll get to that, and that's a rare play. Probably one of those not-so-rare plays. 3-20 is, I believe, a G1. Yep, it is. So the G1 not-so-rare play. So we're just going to go ahead and say it's a 6-3 ground out and be done with it. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Yankees. Righetti did his job. Kept everybody in check. And now Calvin Schiraldi will be coming on for Crawford to try to close the deal. Get Schiraldi in here. Schiraldi on the replay or on the real season was 8-5 with a 4.41 ERA. He'll be facing Cotto, Washington, and Mattingly, but they may pinch it for Cotto. I think they're going to go to Gary Ward because they need some offense here. So Gary Ward is going to pinch hit for Cotto to start the 9th because Cotto has gone 0 for 4 and has had shown nothing. So Schiraldi is on. Get the numbers on the replay for Schiraldi. Schiraldi is 4-5 with 7 saves and a 5.35 ERA. 34 innings pitched, 44 hits, 8 walks, and 42 strikeouts. So a really good walk to strikeout ratio, but giving up a lot of hits per innings pitched as well. So Cotto coming out, and Gary Ward will be making his way in from the on-deck circle, trying to get something going for the Yankees. Gary Ward. And on the replay, Gary Ward is hitting only 214, 7 homers, 28 driven in, but he did hit 248 real world with 16 home runs. So he can certainly tie the score. Yeah, Joe, I really didn't want to mess with the rare plays too much anymore. It don't come up enough, so it really wasn't worth getting into it. So here's Gary Ward. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So Schiraldi takes care of the pinch hitter Ward. 1 away, and that'll take us to Claudell Washington. Don Mattingly is on deck, and Winfield is lurking. So if Claudell Washington can get on base, they can get something going. He's 1 for 4. 1-7, and that's a strikeout there. So Schiraldi, 2 strikeouts. And now it's up to Donnie Baseball. Keep it going. Of course, he had 30 home runs in the 1987 season, so he's certainly capable of going deep. He's 2 for 4, a single and a triple. 6-5, and that's a strikeout there. So Schiraldi comes in and strikes out the side and takes care of the Yankees. Talk about a immaculate inning for a save. He certainly did so. Oh, I put the numbers in for Crawford. What am I doing? I got ahead of myself here. Meant to put Schiraldi here. I'll fix the numbers on Crawford. Righetti's going to go 1 inning, a walk, and a strikeout, nothing else. 9-8, the final. 9 runs, 13 hits, and no errors for the Red Sox. 8 runs, 13 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. Nipper gets the win. He goes to 5-8. Rhoden, the loser, goes to 6-5. Schiraldi with save number 8 on the replay. So let's go to the box score so I can clean up Crawford's numbers and get those correct where they need to be. So Crawford is going to go 2 1/3. So he will go 2 1/3. He is going to give up 2 hits and 2 runs. 2 hits and 2 runs. They are earned. Let's see here. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. So we'll fix that real quick. Maybe if I can get this thing to work. All right, so that's what we have. And Bordy, in 2/3 innings, saved their bullpen quite a bit and actually gave them an outside this game, but the rally fell just short. 4 in the 9th. So there you have it. Red Sox went 9-8 over the Yankees. We go to our standings now. It's a tough loss for the Yankees as they fall another half game behind the Brewers. Yankees are now 8.5 behind the Brewers. Tigers are a game and a half back of the Yankees. And tomorrow we will have the Tigers and the Orioles from Tiger Stadium. Jeff Robinson against Eric Bell. That will be tomorrow's matchup. Tigers and the Orioles. Then on Thursday, we'll have the Twins and the Rangers from Texas. And then on Friday, it'll be Milwaukee and Toronto from Milwaukee. That'll finish out the schedule for the week in this replay. Again, coming up later on Thursday in this week, we will have the first 2 rounds of the Genesis Invitational in History Maker Golf from the Riviera Country Club. That's rounds 1, 2, and 3, where we do the cut and then set the positionings for the 4th round. So that'll do it from here. Hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend and your week's off to a good start. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I'll see you all down the road.